This is a documentary by Char and Ching.
The leader of the Holocaust was the infamous leader Adolf Hitler. Adolf Hitler was born on April 20, 1889 in Braunau am in Austria. At the age of 16, Hitler dropped out of school. After dropping out of school, he decided to take up art as his career. The school that he wanted to attend was called Venice Academy of Fine Arts. Hitler's attempt to attend this school were unsuccessful. Hitler then decided to make a living off of paintings that he created. In Vienna, Hitler developed a variety of things that would affect his future. Hitler developed a strong hate for the Jews that were in Vienna. Hitler also acquired basic knowledge regarding internationalism, socialism, and capitalism. Hitler left Austria for Bavaria in May 1913. Hitler then enlisted in the army. When he returned, he was injured because he was a runner. In 1919, Hitler joined the NSDAP, also known as the Nazi Party. Hitler quickly ascended to the top of his party and became one of the leaders. In April 1932, Hitler ran to be president. He lost the elections. However, the Nazi Party became the largest political party. January 30th, 1933, Hindenburg, the current president, made Hitler the leader of Germany. Immediately when Hitler was elected, he disposed of other political parties that opposed the Nazi Party. This made Germany a one-party state, and this caused Hitler to be the ultimate ruler of Germany. Hitler made sure that all people were supporters of his government and his system. Those who opposed Hitler were sent to internment camps. These actions violated the rights of the people in Germany. After Germany was transformed into a dictatorship, a large number of people lost their rights and freedoms. One of the main targets that Hitler had in mind were the Jews. The Jews were reduced to the lowest class in the German social society. Mayer calls them untouchables. The reason for this was because they were unable to live normal lives. For example, they could not get an education or jobs. You were considered Jewish if any of your grandparents were Jewish. This law and movement was called the Nuremberg Laws of 1935.
Out of all the internment camps, Auschwitz was the most notorious. Auschwitz was known for the amount of deaths that occurred there. In fact, Auschwitz killed the largest amount of prisoners out of all the camps during World War II. Auschwitz was not just one camp. It consisted of many different camps that were located in eastern Poland. Auschwitz had a variety of prisoners before the start of World War II. These prisoners mainly consisted of Polish political prisoners, prisoners of war, and Russian prisoners of war. There are a rough estimate of 50 different sub-camps which branched off the original Auschwitz. The three most prominent camps were Auschwitz I, Auschwitz II, and Auschwitz III. Prisoners in Auschwitz were forced to do many things that violated their human rights. One of the things that the prisoners were forced to do was labor. Auschwitz was used as one of the labor sites to create a new plant. This plant was funded by the IG Farben, a German chemical firm. The construction took place from 1940 to 1941. Auschwitz had favorable conditions to construct buildings and other projects. The reason for this is because of the amount of raw material and the availability of the railroad by the camps. After the great success of the plant being constructed, IG Farben made a deal with the SS or the Nazis. In this deal, both of the parties benefited. IG Farben paid for the upgrades done to the camps so that they could hold up to 100,000 inmates. In return, Auschwitz would allow IG Farben to use the inmates as slaves. In addition to forced labor, Auschwitz tested harmful gases on their inmates. This was a violation of human rights. The reason for this is because it is a procedure that makes people feel unimaginable pain before death. Imagine being trapped inside of a small room with limited oxygen when suddenly a can of dangerous gas is thrown into the room. The door is locked and shut tight and there is no escape. These experiments started in 1941 and were first done on Russian prisoners of war. The gas that they used was called Cyclone B, which is a hydrogen cyanide gas. Cyanide is a dangerous gas that is found in fruits such as apples inside of the pit and the seeds. The cyanide gas was very effective in killing mass amounts of Jews. This became the chief method of disposing of all the Jews. Hitler's instructions were to kill all the Jews. This was known as the final solution. Auschwitz Camps 1 and 2 specialized in gassing Jews. They started gassing Jews in farmhouses, but eventually upgraded to gas chambers. To make this process even more efficient, the Nazis created crematoriums. The crematoriums were used to burn the dead bodies. The Nazis were able to kill thousands of Jews daily. Auschwitz eventually fell to a group called the Sonderkommando. The Sonderkommando were prisoners that were forced to assist the Nazis. In October 7th, 1944, the Sonderkommando revolted and eventually took over Auschwitz.
At the end of World War II, approximately 6 million Jews were killed and 1.5 million of those were children. Any survivors left from the concentration camps were released. Miraculously, 4 survivors were able to tell their stories on World War II.
One survivor, Shep Zittler, was a Jewish man born in Vilna, Poland. During the war, he was a prisoner of war and a soldier. He also knew a song named the Partisan Song, which was made by Herschel Gillick. Herschel was also from Vilna during World War II. He fought with the partisans. He died at the age of 22. According to Shep Zittler, after the Holocaust, this and many other songs are usually sung across the world by Jews. Shep Zittler also led the partisan song in the Jewish Community Center for a few years. Shep is currently a salesman and maintains a family with 1 son. Another survivor, Eva Galler, was one of the few that escaped the death train. The death train was a way of transporting Jews to concentration camps. That train usually was at 200% capacity. Numerous Jews wanted to escape the train, so they ripped the barbed wires and jumped out of the windows, which were small. There were Schutzstaffel, aka SS people, that would sit on the roof of the train and would shoot whoever jumps out. Eva Galler jumped out of the train last, with her 16-year-old sister going first and her 15-year-old brother going second. Eva remembers hearing the bullets but none hitting her. When she heard the train pass, she got out of the snow and looked for survivors and her siblings. She found out that they were shot, and there were a lot of corpses. There was only one other survivor, which was her friend. Eva moved to a German farm and worked under a fake name and Catholic region. Before the train incident, Eva said, "The laws didn't apply to us. Some of those laws were the Jews couldn't walk on the sidewalk, but in the middle of the road. They were given stars so they were clearly identified. Their neighbors also turned to enemies. No one can be trusted." The next survivor was Solomon Radasky. During the war, he had to cover ashes using sand. There were 2 shifts, one ranging from 6 in the morning to 12 in the afternoon, then the second shift from 12 in the afternoon to 5 in the afternoon. They had 1 wagon to fill the ashes with sand. This job went on every day. Solomon did this for years. He remembers the children, which some were 4 years old, crying for their mama and daddy. He also remembers everyone getting thrown in alive. After the war, he went to where he was born, Warsaw. He was sad that 85% of it had been destroyed. It looked like a cemetery, he recalled. The last survivor, Joseph Char, lived in a small town where displaced people were after World War II ended. At the time, they were fed and received monthly packages from the UNRRA. One day, 2 boys from the camp went walking in the woods and their dog started digging at the floor. The boys then dug out the rest of the dirt and found 50 dead Jews. Joseph said he felt good that he was doing a deed for the Jews. Joseph is now currently a tailor in America. He's thankful to be in America because it is a new life for him, and he's able to buy things he couldn't afford in Poland.